Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning into this week's episode of the Real Estate Talk Show, Home Buying 101 with Sebastian Cordoba, Mr. Clear to Close. Guys, super excited because I have a very special guest. I have Kiaralee Tejada from the Fermin Group Century 21. Aside from my special guest, we have some hot topics that I don't want you guys to miss. We're gonna be sharing important topics of what you should be considering while you're buying a home in this crazy market that we're in. Aside from that, we're gonna be sharing common mistakes that buyers and sellers are making while they're in the process of buying or selling their home. So guys, please don't miss it. Like it, comment, share it. Let's talk some real estate. All right, guys, please, let's make some big noise, big round of applause for Kiaralee Tejada from the Fermin Group Century 21. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me, Sebastian. I'm super excited.
Oh, no, we are all excited. I know all of you guys are too. So listen, I wanted to bring you on because I know we have the same mentality. We want to help our community. We want to make sure that we're educating and giving back.
Definitely, definitely.
Right? So before we share all these tips and go over all these common mistakes, we want to get to know Kiaralee. So who's Kiaralee, please?
So I grew up, born and raised in Lawrence, Massachusetts. I've been in real estate for about 6 years. Prior to real estate, I was in car sales. So I've been in sales in general for about 7 to 8 years. And I haven't regretted it not one bit. I love what I do, and I love being a professional home matchmaker.
Ooh, professional home matchmaker. I love it. That sounds fancy.
Yeah.
So, thanks again for coming. I appreciate it. All right. And let's just, dive right into it. So I know you're dying to share with us. What's a special tip, right? What's something that you want to share with us, especially somebody who's buying or selling?
Yeah. I think this goes to both buyers and sellers. A lot of the things that I hear is, I'm going to wait. I'm just going to wait. Interest rates are just high right now. I'm going to wait. But I would say take advantage of the moment, especially if you're a buyer. If you fall in love with the home, don't be afraid to put in an offer. That home most likely is not going to sit there and wait for you to be ready. So one of my biggest tips is just, you see the home that you like, put in the offer. Make sure you're getting, professional advice as to, is my offer strong enough? Am I going to be able to win this bidding war, especially in this crazy market as we're getting into the spring market? And then I guess that also goes to sellers as well, is, as we're getting deeper into the spring market, you're going to see a lot of competition. So what I could say is take advantage of the moment now. If you can, list your home now. There are buyers out there.
I love it. And yes, like what you're saying is very true, right? Because if you have the opportunity for you to be able to buy a home, right? You qualify right now.
Yeah.
Take advantage of it.
Yeah, why not?
Right? Exactly. Because, we don't know how much harder it is for you to be able to buy a home, qualify for a home in the future. So take advantage of it.
Correctly. And, one of the biggest pushbacks is, like I mentioned, interest rates. We don't know if interest rates are going to go down or if they're going to go up. So if you sit there and wait for interest rates to go down, they might not go down for quite a while. So you're missing an opportunity to buy, a home for yourself and for your family.
Exactly. And I think one thing that you're also mentioning is, you can always refinance the interest rate down the line, but you can never renegotiate the purchase price you bought it,
Exactly.
for. So,
Exactly.
So amazing. So, and I love this because I can hear all these pens already taking these notes down from these tips. What's another important tip you want to share with us?
I would say as you're getting ready to, get pre-approved, just make sure you have all your ducks in a row. When I say that, I mean, make sure that your finances, any money that you have that you're going to use towards the to the purchase of the home, that you have that in a separate bank account, that you have that ready to go, not under your mattress.
Please, no. Please, no.
So make sure you have that in a bank account that you're not touching, that there's not a lot of activity going in and out, as well as, getting your credit prepared, not to do any major purchases that could affect your credit. And just make sure that you're making the right decisions when it comes to not touching your credit in a way that it can negatively affect it.
Yes, yes, and I think that's very important. Is when you're working with a good solid team, you can easily reach out and ask them, hey, listen, can I deposit $5,000 cash, right?
Exactly.
Hey, can I go to Jordan's Furniture and start buying all my furniture? These are very important topics, and we want to make sure that you, or as a client, when you're purchasing a home or selling it, that you're getting advice directly from a professional.
Exactly. So if you got to think about it, and if you think, oh, should I make this purchase or should I? Just contact your lender. Contact your lender. Don't be afraid. No question is a dumb question. Yes. Mm-hmm. So don't be afraid. If you're going to go and, like you mentioned, get some furniture, just give a call to your local lender, the lender that's working with you, and make sure that, is this something that you're able to do as you're getting ready to buy a home.
All right. So, Kiaralee, thank you so much for that tip. That's amazing. I really appreciate it. But before we transition into common mistakes that we're seeing buyers and sellers make, what's another tip that you want to leave us with? Yeah,
I would say as a seller, buyer, is to lean on us as your team. We're here to help. Any questions that you have, as I mentioned, is not a dumb question. And we're your resource. So if you ever need, a recommendation of a local plumber, or if you ever need a recommendation on a junk removal company, don't feel afraid to contact your realtor. That's what we're here for, to ask your lender, specific questions on any loan related items or anything that, could help them either boost their credit as well. So just look to us as your resource and as your team.
All right, so that was amazing. Thank you so much for sharing these hot tips, because these are very important both for the buyers and the sellers. But I know we have another very hot topic. We're going to jump right into some common mistakes that we're seeing both the buyers and the sellers are making. And I'll give you a quick mistake that I'm seeing a lot of buyers make, right? Is, for example, what we do and we pre-approve somebody is we always say what the maximum amount is that somebody can qualify for. But I think something that you mentioned about is you have to make sure you understand how much of a monthly payment you're actually comfortable with.
Yeah.
Right? So making sure you understand that, I think, is a very common mistake where people think, hey, I want to buy $1 million home but have a very low monthly mortgage payment, right?
Right. Yeah, one of the common mistakes that I see is, like, as I mentioned, just because you pre-approve for a certain amount doesn't mean that you have to buy at that amount. You want to make sure it makes sense for you. It makes sense, for your family, and it doesn't cause too much of a financial burden on you. So you want to make sure you're making the right decision as far as, can I afford this mortgage?
Yeah, and that's right, because I think the idea is to put you in a financial comfortable position, right? Not where you're going to want to call us back in the future and have to sell your home, right?
Exactly. That's one of the saddest cases.
No.
When, pre-foreclosure or anything like that, it's really sad to see.
Yeah, so let's stay away from that, guys. And but what's another common mistake that you're seeing, let's say from buyers or from sellers?
I would say sellers, just overpricing their homes. Oh. You want to make sure that you're taking professional advice on how to price your home adequately. You don't want it to sit on the market for too long, because one, it's a bad look, and then two, your home might be beautiful. So there's no need to just overprice, especially in this market. What happens 9 out of 10 times is if you price it right, you create a bidding war, and you might get that number that you want that's in your head.
Ooh, bidding war sounds good.
I like the bidding war.
So that's good. I mean, I think, a common mistake that people are making, like what you said, is, to summarize, is they're not listening to their professionals, right?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, where at the end of the day, the professional's job, they understand the market, they know where you should be placing and pricing it at to hopefully create more activity versus having that property sit, like you said.
Yeah. We get our price, we do a comparative market analysis. So we're going based off what the market is telling us your home is worth. Although you have made all these beautiful repairs, which I'm sure have added value, we also have to go by what the market says. So that's why I mentioned, just making sure that you take professional advice as far as where to price your home at.
Very valuable information there, guys, because what she's saying is, there's tools and resources that a realtor has where they can do a comparable analysis of the home, and they look at the past 6 months of the exact type of home that was sold, right?
Yeah.
And they say, well, if this exact home, the one that you're listing, sold for X amount, then we can kind of price it around that same amount, right?
Correct.
Is that kind of the idea?
Yep, definitely.
Right. So guys, this is amazing. I appreciate it. Do you have another last common mistake you want to share with us before we kind of leave these beautiful people?
One of the most common mistakes that I'm seeing a lot recently is buyers waiving inspection.
No.
Please don't do it. There's ways to work around it. We can do an inspection where it's not that you're going to go back and have the seller fix any items or go ahead and make any repairs. What we can do is an inspection for buyer informational purposes only.
Okay.
So that means it's just for you, for your knowledge, to know what's going on with the home. It's not for you to go ahead and ask for any repairs to be done.
Amazing, amazing. So it's good because if you're going to get into this home and purchase this home, it's also good to know, where the bones or the meat, is it in good structure and good standing?
Yeah, definitely.
Amazing, amazing. So, Kiaralee, thank you. I mean, this is good. This is amazing information. I keep hearing the pages switching and people just writing so many notes. This is good. But, before we let everybody go, more importantly, what's the best way that everybody can reach out to you?
Yeah, so you can reach me at 978-387-9438. Also, my email, kiaraleetherealtor@gmail.com, and all that stuff is going to be right at the bottom. So if you ever need to reach me, that's where you can find me.
Awesome. Kiaralee, thank you so much for coming. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.
No, it was a blast. And mi gente, thank you so much for tuning into this week's episode. Really appreciate it. We look forward to seeing you next week. Please like it, comment, share it, subscribe it. Talk to you next week.